What is Tracy's new last name? Ramirez. It used to be Gallagher, so I know her as Tracy Gallagher. Ramirez is the new one.
There's a girl on this team that I know. It's like coached her.
Isn't there a Pinnacle and a Xavier girl?
Yeah, so I saw Haley yesterday, Haley Seaman. I coached her a lot on Heat. But Darian, I don't see Darian. Unless that's her out there, but I don't think that's her.
I don't remember either one of them being staff
Darian was a defender that had a few little things, but nothing crazy. Like, I don't, if I were to try them,
So she wouldn't have been the girl because they put on taking the double team.
No.
That's what
No. It was,
I know Peyton Bryant was often sent to double team.
yeah, she's over at Xavier.
Yeah.
That's not her. I was at the one on Saturday. It was fine. I think they'll end up seeing each other. They're like, you guys stay one, we'll be 2 or 3, or like, you guys struggle to like figure it out. They're like, you can't see each other in the like against each other. Because well, that's what they don't want to play each other, so they see each other in the We'll see how it goes. I think they're like, oh, we have to beat Cactus Shadows. Looks like you guys can beat both teams can beat Cactus Shadows.
I'm pretty sure Mel 1 and 2 and Throne and Cactus Shadows because South Point's going to be
Cactus Shadows, defender, top defender, out with the ACL.
Well, Sam. Yeah, one of my youth officials, Gretchen, for Pinnacle told right after their game in Cactus Shadows that 2 girls from Cactus Shadows went out in the game, their best defender, and one of their other girls sent her to shoot, and she thought they were both ACLs, but she told me that when Sam went down, her teammates learned to fly. That's not good.
I think Sam's the one with an ACL. I think the other one will be either a little MCL or just like a twist. The discomfort more than anything.
Well, this isn't a good year for Sam either. She's 24. That's like an awful year for that. Not that there's ever a good time for that to happen.
No, but she's just honestly just very unlucky.
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay over here or down here today? I can actually hop up right there.
Oh, you should be okay. How you guys want it? That wasn't fully charged yesterday, but today I got all the way up. So whatever you guys want to do.
I was gonna say because I was like I could easily hop down in here.
Yeah, want to stay.
Probably easier if you guys are side by side.
Yeah,
so you can
probably.
hear each other.
I've got snacks in there if you want. I cleaned it out really well.
Oh, we're so good too. Like we get canes after the game.
I felt awful. We got to the car and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I won't cancel.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted a sandwich. It was like all I wanted is a chicken sandwich right now. It was so bad, so good.
I felt awful after I ate it. It's like, why did I waste it? I know why I ate it.
I worked hard on it too.
friend of from California too.
Wisconsin, Minnesota. Like, we should start running away with it too. Just get as far as possible.
Would have just unplugged. It's all good.
Rip it out. Sorry, I couldn't come up with one. I was just hanging out.
All right, be live in 3 seconds.
Welcome back to the beautiful GCU Stadium here in Phoenix, Arizona for another game. Today we have GCU versus Westminster. Westminster, who played Dominican yesterday and lost in a double overtime just by 1 point, probably out for some redemption today. GCU with their first game of this little 3-game stretch. GCU is going to start out with this ball. GCU trying to get that ball right into the middle over the Westminster defense. Six stayed high, able to knock down that ball and cause a turnover. Looks like that pass is just a little too high. The freshman midfielder, Sophia Fadler.
And the field has been freshly painted so we can actually see the sidelines now from a distance, so that'll help both teams.
It makes a huge difference for the teams and the refs even. And I'm sure even those watching this game live, looks like they even were able to just figure out the 8 and 12 meter over on that north side of the field as well. Looks like we have too many men on the field. It looks like that sub might have gone just a little too early for the girl that was coming off. It's going to be a turnover on GCU. Ball's going back to Westminster. Westminster moving this ball up the field.
Both teams are going to try and play with a shot clock today, so that's new from yesterday.
That's a shot from Lauren Shugro. I was corrected from yesterday. I appreciate the correction. Shugro. Shugro? Shugro.
We'll get it right.
We'll get it right, I promise. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of the sisters, the little duo that they had yesterday. They were on fire yesterday, and I can't wait to see what they do today. I'm sure they were watching a little bit of the film, trying to figure out, you know, what's going to work best. What can we fix in our, you know, quick turnaround of 24 hours. Westminster definitely trying to take advantage of their height on this field compared to this GCU team. I believe they have 2 players that are over 6 foot, and honestly you can see them just making their way down the field quickly. GCU comes up with this ball from the draw. Looks like they had an opportunity in the middle there, and just a brief drop pass. Westminster is able to come back up with possession here. Quick ball movement in the midfield. exactly what we saw yesterday. Very impressive. Always fun to watch when you can see just a very controlled passing among midfield. Celia Fidanza just taking out her defender, able to juke her out just enough to get her to lose her footing. Big loud calls, especially from up top here. We can hear what they're talking about on the attack side again with that communication. GCU goalie comes up with a save. Maggie. You know what? We're going to go with Maggie. I'm not even going to try and butcher another last name here today. Beautiful save by Maggie and able to move that ball up the field. Good shot right on that inside. Very narrow lane there. From Shaylee Smith, I believe. Yes, that would be Shaylee Smith. Able to just sneak it into the 5-hole of Westminster's goalie. I wonder if we'll see another game of goalies here tonight.
I hope so.
It was a wild game, and honestly, it was very impressive.
All those goalies yesterday did such a good job.
Phenomenal job, especially going into a double overtime when you're just tired and gassed, and all you can do is make sure that you're just saving the next ball that's coming to you. GCU, Westminster coming up with this ball. Purple's got me confused. Shot just on the outside. Was looking for a shallow lane yet again. Never a bad idea to try. Sometimes you can catch the goalies off guard, which they were able to yesterday with some of those. GCU looking to get that pass. Ball's down. So it looks like Westminster just had a foot over that line and called offsides. Able to get this ball back very quickly.
They need to be so careful when the official is standing there, because if any part of their foot touches any part of the line, they're over.
Absolutely. And with those shallow lines yesterday, it was so hard to tell, and I can only imagine it wasn't very much. It wasn't easier down on the field. You just had to be in line and notice it. GCU looking to just move this ball up. Looks like they're just trying to get these passes under control. It's going to be a shooting space. For Rachel Ware, the senior attacker from San Diego, California.
She'll have really nice position here on the center hash.
Westminster, like you said, very good positioning on that center hash, and obviously, is able to really go wherever she wants to. But Westminster had it right there. They had set up girls on each of the hashes that they had open. There's nothing more that you can do in that situation, especially when they have that center hash. Send in all the defense that you possibly can.
I think they just have to hope they can get a stick on it and maybe deflect the ball.
Westminster showing off that they can really control this ball too, even if it is on the ground. Those brief little just like toe taps, trying to get it into their advantage or give themselves just that extra little advantage on the ground ball it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. We're going to call a push on that out of bounds. I think that's a great call. I will say it is nice to see that there's a different trio of refs out here today. You know, slightly unbiased, not seeing what they saw last night or yesterday. And that stick was a little high. Defensively.
Yeah.
This would be yellow card on GCU's Ava Loeffler. Just as a reminder, that'll be a 2-minute penalty as long as the clock is running. When the clock's stopped, the penalty clock is also stopped. So Westminster will be up a man here for the next 2 minutes. Ball's down. Renia Page really looking to get anything she can, even with that little trash goal, and she couldn't get it. Maggie on her toes, ready for anything that was about to come at her. Renia Page is really looking to see if she can capitalize on any of these opportunities, and I love seeing it. Gabby Kemnett looking to see if she could even get a little tip on that ball, but it seemed to throw off GCU just enough that they turned over the ball. Westminster's got it back, moving it up the midfield. I would not be shocked if we see more of Renia Page here in the, scoring, assisting, any sort of stats. GCU able to cause a turnover. Just need to get this ball control. Ball control in the midfield is going to be the biggest thing that they need to work on here.
Cleaner passes for sure.
Passes, a little bit lower, maybe even pulling a little bit of power off the passes, just so that you can almost ensure that that ball is going to get off where it needs to and coming off the stick exactly where it should be. That's a great long pass by Westminster. That's a great shot for Hunter Doyle. Hunter Doyle was one that we saw yesterday too in the first half, but I think she was sitting a little bit more on the backside of the goal in the second half. We missed out a little bit on her. She made a great decision by just keeping her feet moving and trying to break through those defenders without dropping a shoulder or causing that
displacement.
The displacement or even the charge. Like we saw a lot of charge calls yesterday that, all you have to do is just drop a little bit of your shoulder and the ref's just going to think that it's dangerous and it's going to be a turnover. I think that was a great play by Hunter Doyle out on that attack side. GCU is trying to keep that ball in the midfield so that they could have some sort of control without it crossing that restraining line. I don't know how I feel about that. In a player's perspective, yes, you want to keep it to your little 3x3 in there, so it's only a few players that you're playing against, but if you have an opportunity to grab some help from your teammates, I don't see why not.
I think if you have a teammate on the other side of the restraining line that's really good at getting those contested ground balls, it may be better to bring him into the mix.
Looked like a quick shot by GCU, and Westminster was able to recover off the pipe. Westminster doing everything they can to just take care of this ball, find their pockets. They're looking for these hard dodges from the top side. They really want to finish on every shot that they take, make sure that they're, every opportunity that they have, they're making it as powerful a shot even that one from Ellie Berg. Ellie Berg looking to even just try and sneak it in past that goalie, and Maggie had everything right, stepped up into the ball and absorbed it. Westminster able to get this ball back, looking for a pretty quick drive from the top side. GCU quick to recover on the defensive end as well.
And the GCU goalie has 6 saves already this game.
It's about to be another goalie's game.
I think so. She's definitely playing a big role in keeping her team in this with the even score.
GCU's senior goalie, and it's always nice to see when the senior goalies are just thriving off of this pressure. It's going to be Lauren Shigoro with that goal, number 2 of the day, and I'm sure number 2 of many out here today. I think both sisters and quite honestly, that entire attack wants some redemption from that double overtime yesterday.
I think so too.
See a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a fire under everyone's butts on this field. I think GCU, might be coming in heavy with being able to watch the entire game. They know who to play a little bit harder defense on, or maybe even who to double, and they're taking advantage of it. But I don't think it's really messing with Westminster at all.
We'll see how Westminster holds up throughout the game. They're traveling with a very small squad, so they have hardly any subs really. So by the 4th quarter, we'll see how tired some of these girls are.
So it looked like GCU was able to grab that draw initially and, obtain possession that allowed everybody to kind of drop into the midfield. Westminster was able to cause a turnover and bring it back over to their attack side. Great job. And just a little bit of a low pass. It happens. Trying to move that ball, trying to get it out there. She needs to step on that field before she starts.
We have a false start, yeah.
She's not even on that field. There she
so
goes.
The ball turns over.
Should be Purple's ball.
It is.
I was gonna say.
The official has signaled for Westminster's ball. There was a little bit of a grace period initially when some of the rules changed on bringing the ball in bounds, but those days are long gone.
It's another one of those pieces that they added in to make that game smoother. Oh, it's a great save by Maggie yet again. Great shot by Maddie Keller, though. Maddie Keller is another one that I hope to see a little bit more of today as well, and that shooting stat, that's another great shot. Westminster just needs to keep shooting, and they will find the little openings on this goalie.
Westminster didn't have anyone there to back it up, so technically the goalie was closest when the ball went out of bounds.
GCU under some pressure, trying to move this ball up the field, playing with that 90-second shot clock. Talking to Tracy, Coach Tracy a little bit, it sounds like they kind of intermittently use it, and they try to use it as much as possible just to make their fast breaks a little bit more effective. But obviously in the club play, it's not necessary. So I think it's wise of Tracy to be using that as kind of a tactic, saying, hey, this is some way that we can kind of break down our fast breaks.
Absolutely.
This is a way that we can learn how to move that ball down the field and utilize. Saying like, hey, we got 40 seconds. We got plenty of time down on the attack side. Let's slow this down. Let's do this. Let's do that.
And they'll be ready if they ever go to a shot clock in the club game.
Absolutely. I wonder if Westminster feels a little bit more comfortable even with the shot clock, knowing that it's there. And being able to play how they normally play in that Division II conference or division area. So this is about the time that you'll be hearing the teams giving warnings on the time, whether it's 15, 10, 5. Every team's kind of got a different tactic. Sometimes they'll start a play at a certain time. I know that we used to have something at about 25 seconds. That was a little bit of a slow break into a quick dodge, and it would give us, a buffer of about 10 seconds.
We might see some more of these 3-second calls. With the 8 better marked today, it'll be easier for the officials to see if players are hanging out in the 8.
So it looks like we're going to call this back. I believe it was a crease violation by GCU. Might have stepped in the crease after the shot. That shot was by Nicole Terry, a freshman from San Diego, California. It was a beautiful shot. It does get a bit risky, a bit hard when you're playing right up into that crease, or you're kind of driving those 8 meters all the way down into the crease. Got to maintain your balance and not step in right after you shoot. Westminster looking to just get one more shot off here. They've got plenty of time on their shot clock, but the quarter clock is down to about 18 seconds. That's a big check by Nicole Terry trying to get that ball back. Looks like a pretty scrappy midfielder there, but she's looking a little tired. Great save by Maggie. Good first quarter by both of these teams. Quite honestly, very quick too. There wasn't a lot of stoppage of play, and
no.
Got 3-2. We were talking about how Westminster came with quite a small team. A lot of coaches will come up with different tactics or different plays that they try to utilize to make sure that their teams are not getting gassed in those first and second quarters, quite honestly the first half. And something that they did yesterday, I think that I had mentioned briefly and I was a little unsure about, but we've got confirmation on, is that they're running a zone defense. And I couldn't have asked for a better start to a zone defense that they have. Yesterday was beautiful. It was very well run. There was a few pockets, and I think they were able to fix that. Right now, it looks like they're able to settle down a little bit, but I assume that once the midfielders kind of get into that tired phase of, the third end of the second quarter and into the third, and very much so the fourth, they'll be, trying to use the zone defense to their advantage.
Well, and for a lot of teams, using a zone defense, if they're not careful, you get a lot of 3-second calls, because if you have a girl not moving fast enough when they're passing off girls, you find yourself kind of stuck in the 8 and you're caught, and they've done a really good job of not getting a lot of 3-second calls.
Absolutely. Their communication is, we're pretty much at the top of the stands here, and we're able to hear them on this attack side, and the defensive side is just as loud. Honestly, louder at times. We're further away from them right now, so just being able to hear them all the way up here is quite impressive, and honestly I think that's going to help them out with this zone defense, or even just the quick movement throughout the midfield. They're able to pick and choose who they're passing this ball to, and the player is receptive and listening to what's going on. It's always the biggest thing to see, and this Westminster team is really taking advantage of it as much as they can. Second quarter of this game, goalies are going to switch sides. If you didn't join us yesterday, we'll do some brief explaining again today, but the goalies are just going to switch sides. Defense are going to switch sides. It's just a quick little 2-minute or 5-minute break in between the quarters. And then we'll get a 10-minute break here at halftime. GCU is able to come up with this draw. Looking for a quick shot from Paige DeVries, a freshman from Boney Lake, Washington. GCU's freshmen are out here to play. Got quite a big squad. Quite a young squad as well. Both teams here have numerous freshmen that it seems as though they're trying to kind of figure out positions and where they want to place them best. It seems to be working out for both teams very well, to be quite honest.
I think so. And GCU certainly has a lot of players to work with.
Renia Page really working to get this ball back. Applying that pressure. And able to just not even touch that GCU player. It looks like she might have tripped just a bit.
Oh, a little high.
Oh, man. It's one of those unlucky balls that you can almost reach, but it doesn't quite make it. GCU able to switch this field. Seems as though they caught the Westminster midfield off just a bit by switching the field. Incidental trip. Happens. Get a little too close. Clip a heel.
I think she was paying a little too much attention to making sure her check was clean and wasn't paying attention to where her feet were.
Happens to the best of us. I feel like that's one of the great things about this game too, especially when you get into these college games, is people have a little bit more of an understanding of like, hey, you know what, I know that's an accident, like, sorry, I apologize. Or, you know, you catch a lot of people that try and, you know, make up for their brief little accidents. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, like, didn't mean to do that. Looks like Shayna Seguro making her mark out today. Was waiting for her to score today. One of the, I believe, the top scorer from yesterday's game against Dominican. I wish I'd kept track, and I should have. But man,
I think she did a good job running in, looking to see if she had an open teammate with a better position before she shot.
Yeah, one thing I believe Westminster's been doing really well between both of these games so far has been keeping their heads up. You know, they're not, we were talking about that selfishness yesterday, how some girls tend to get, you know, I have the ball, I'm going to go shoot, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that. Westminster has shown nothing but, you know, this unselfish nature, being like, oh, are you open, I have a lane, I'm going to take this. That, or they, you know, they pull the ball out and they take the opportunity to slow it down, slow a break, and make sure that maybe their goal is assisted or somebody has a better lane. GCU coming up with this ball.
I think it's so important when you've got really good goalies out there, because a bad shot almost guarantees a save.
Absolutely. That's going to be a check towards the face or a stick in the sphere. Ooh, GCU with these big checks, just looking for anything that they can get. They're able to get this ball back.
Yeah, running into a triple team never works.
No.
Oh,
that's going to be. We're just going to call it a general foul. All right. I think that's a fair call.
The stick definitely came across her body.
just the reaction of the GCU player kind of brought her stick into the face, which is more so what happens most of the time, I feel like. But there are times when I feel like it does get dangerous and you have to, give out that yellow card.
I think we have a similar situation there, a player going for the check, and her feet are just a little off balance as she reaches for the check.
So in that situation, how do you determine that being kind of a check into the body rather than a slash in that case, where that stick came from top to bottom all the way down, from what I think sky to grass?
For the officials, it's really a judgment call in terms of, did the check look like it was in control, or was it out of control? Players can make big checks, hard checks, as long as they're in control of their stick. It's when they send that stick flying and out of control, that's the problem.
I feel as though when you're watching or you're viewing some of these games, it's hard to tell from sometimes that bird's eye view. And you catch yourself and you see the ref making one call and you're like, wait, maybe I would have called that something else, or that looked a little bit more dangerous from my perspective as a viewer than maybe how it looked down on the field.
Yeah, and it really is a game of angles. The officials move to get into the best position that they can to see, and then they make the best calls they can based on what they're seeing on the field.
Maddie Keller looking to see if she could sneak that ball in and just unable to. The senior goalie, Maggie, just making an absolutely amazing save and able to get that ball up. GCU looks like they just need to settle that ball down on the attack side here. Kind of obtain possession, give it a few more seconds down on the attack end. Westminster's able to come back up with this ball. Maddie Keller looking for one more opportunity. She gets to the middle. Probably looking for that call, and she gets it. Second inside hash. I believe Maddie Keller is one of those girls that they utilize on the draw for Westminster. There you go. Maddie Keller with a goal right at her feet. I think she's figured it out.
Westminster's definitely going to have to make sure they place their shots well, because this GCU goalie is making so many stops. If they don't place well, she's just going to keep stopping those shots. Sometimes
it takes those first few minutes, even the first quarter, to just kind of read a goalie and how they're playing or what they're doing. And I think Maddie Keller might have figured it out after those 2 8-meters. Oh, that's a great point as well. The lights, it looks like the lights just came on, but it was starting to get a little dim in here, and there was word that it might be a little difficult to see, but it looks like we're finally getting the lights on. Maybe a little late, but you know what? Anytime's a good time for lights when you need it out here in Phoenix. So hopefully this helps. Looks like it should be a crease violation, but it looks like they're going to get a check to the head first.
I think he's signaled for the clock to stop, and I believe the official, because the player was definitely in the goal circle, the official believes she was pushed in.
Okay. That's a great shot. Rachel Ware, senior from San Diego, California, looking for her second goal of the day, sorry. Just a nice little pop over Gabby Kemnit's left shoulder. just that little change in speed of the shot can make a huge difference on how these goalies can see the ball. And again, with the lights now coming on, I'm sure their eyes have to adjust for just a moment here. Got these Shugro sisters on the draw control up in here, and I think it's going to help them out for Westminster. Shayna able to pick up that ball and move it right down into the attack side. Looks like they're going to take a little bit of time and just settle it out, come up with a play, find the lanes that they have the opportunity to get. Looks like GCU is just playing a little bit of a man-to-man. Shots just wide. Westminster's going to be there to pick it back up. GCU's playing a man-to-man, but definitely playing some pretty hard coverage on some of the top shooters for this Westminster team. Renia Page looking for any opportunity that she can get here. Looks like Lauren Shugro is going to get an 8-meter on that second inside. Gonna call a false start on Westminster. I don't know if that ref saw Lauren going too early or one of her teammates, but Westminster is able to pull this back up. Just a little bit of a little too high of a clear from Maggie out to one of her teammates. Wonder if one of those Westminster girls was just a little bit, behind one of the GCU girls and almost blocking that she was there. Westminster able to sneak that ball in. I'm not even sure where that went in. Looks like it might be Shayna. We'll give you confirmation in a moment. Looked like Shayna Shugro had her stick check, so I believe it was Shayna. But my cameraman is telling me that it was number 27. And now he's claiming that he's wrong.
Don't listen to the cameraman.
Little did you know we have 3 commentators up here, not only 2. Looks like Renia Page is going to get that ball. Great fight from Westminster on these draws. All they're trying to do is just create a possession, even slow this ball down to give themselves a little bit of a break on with those midfielders. I can only imagine that they're absolutely exhausted from yesterday and today. Oh, that's a great opportunity. Lauren Shugro. Westminster coming in, trying to rally just a little bit before this half. And there really haven't been any threats with the shot clock that they've implemented for this game on both sides. There's only been one that we've gotten down to single digits, I believe, so.
No, we haven't really been getting close where anyone's rushed to try and make something happen.
I think that's great gameplay by both teams. If you're able to capitalize on just being able to get what you need done in shorter than those 90 seconds, by all means do it. But if you're looking to stall, then you got to be able to complete what you need to in 10, 15 seconds. It's going to be a false start.
She was just a little too quick off the line there.
GCU looking to stop this run by Westminster. Westminster able to get those sticks up and just get those balls back. I think they've tuned in to kind of what's going on. Granted, it's almost the end of this first half, but once you kind of figure out what's going on, it's a little bit easier to just make these little plays, even if it's just getting your sticks up with 3 or 4 people in the 8.
GCU is going to have to make some adjustments going into the second half to protect the ball a little bit better, make some cleaner passes.
Absolutely. I think we'll see some adjustments even with their, how heavy their sideline is. I think we'll see some new players out there just utilizing what they have and being able to put in essentially almost an entire fresh pair of legs on the field. That's a great play by GCU.
Absolutely.
Trying to just disturb those passes. And because there hasn't been any possession, it's still counting down under Westminster's 90 seconds. So GCU never obtained possession. There was no restart of the shot clock. They now have to figure out what they're going to do in this next 10 seconds here. I don't know if they realize how low this shot clock's getting. Looking for that quick little inside. Lauren Shugro.
Did get that off.
I got that wrong. That was not Lauren. That was Hannah Keller. Hannah Keller finally getting that little inside with the post. I think that was a great little play.
And just 2 seconds left on that shot
clock. I was
clock.
going to say, with little to no time, sometimes you can surprise the goalie saying, hey, we're going to set this play up. Oh, wait, I'm just going to come from behind. Little do you know.
And GCU does have enough players on the bench to field an entire extra team. So they really could shake things up, putting a lot of new girls out at the half and make Westminster figure out how to adjust all over again.
Absolutely. I know that Tracy's put a few of these girls in this half and has kind of shifted them around, probably trying to figure out different trios as well, like who's working well on defense, who's working well on offense. Looked like there was potentially a false start or a foul that caused Westminster to get this ball.
Some players definitely do connect with each other better.
Like Hannah Keller with another shot, just a little high. Looks like she's trying to get this sidearm off. It looked like they thought it was going to be Westminster's ball. Why are they starting out? That's what I don't understand.
It may have been that the whistle was a little delayed, but when the ball went out, the official may have thought the goalie was actually closer.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, they just need to kind of take the ball to the end line. They don't need to take it out and then walk it back in. GCU seems to be doing this thing where they walk out of the field and then they take a step in and they feel like then the ball is in play.
So
they need to stop their feet and then they're still good until they drive a motion, correct?
Yeah, I think they seem to be kind of stepping on and adjusting and not really realizing that once they've stepped on and move again,
it's fair game.
It's fair game. The ball's in play. We see that a lot now at the high school level where the girls can just run the ball right in from out of bounds, and the minute they step on the field, they've self-started, the ball's in play, and some of the girls will come onto the field and step on and not realize that they have self-started.
Just that quick movement, even if it's a little tip-tap of the feet. I mean, that's that starting. Looks like we've lost our shot clock on that side, so I hope GC is paying attention to this other one back here. They've got about 40 seconds left on this shot clock.
Oh, they've got it back up.
We knew one of them's a bit faulty, so we'll try and keep you guys updated if we see that it kind of blacks out again like it did. Got less than a minute left in this quarter. Gabby Kemnant with this ball. She's got plenty of time. She can take her time. GCU's not playing her. Honestly, if I were her, just kind of, kind of keep it calm. Keep it cool and relaxed. They're up right now. They have a little bit of an advantage. You have a small team. Hey, let's relax this. We have more than enough time on the shot clock. Your only worry is that end of the quarter clock there. Westminster looking for one more. It looks like the GCU defender just got a little bit of a stick on that and was able to just knock it up a little bit.
Not quite hard enough to knock it out of bounds, though.
That's the end of the second quarter. Be a 10-minute halftime here. I think we'll see some pretty big changes from GCU. I wouldn't be surprised if we do. Westminster's probably going to do some strategy talk here for the second half. This is about where they left off yesterday and got tired, and things got a little bit, scrappy, to say the least.
By the end of the game, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see with Westminster as the girls start to get tired, if they do start rotating and having some of their midfielders play a little more attack or defense and have them trade here and there with some of the other girls who haven't run quite as much, to just give them that extra few minutes of a breather before they switch back.
Absolutely. I would agree. I think we've seen it a little bit already, just even trying to make sure that people's heads are in the right spot. We'll be back when the start of the second half comes on. are getting started for this second half here. Looks like we've got same goalie situation over on the GCU side. Westminster standing strong with Gabby Kemnant here. GCU starting off this half. The draw control. Ball's up just a little high. Looks like one of the Westminster girls is able to just get a stick on that.
GCU's doing really well on the draw. So far this game, they've won about 2/3 of the draws. They've just got to get those passes under control so they can make something happen.
GCU goal, I believe, is Paige DeVries, freshman from Booney Lake, Washington, here for her second, and the first one to start off the second half. It's a good strong start for GCU. I completely agree with you. Just getting these passes under control would make a huge difference in this game.
They're winning so many draws. They've just got to make something happen after that.
Looks like Westminster is looked to make some changes on their draw circle girls, even just to match up with who GCU's got. I think that's a great decision. You know, they were looking to utilize the height that was going on in the beginning of this game, which I think that with the Dominican team was a big deal. But now they're trying to kind of match that stature and even that speed that some of these GCU girls have. GCU was able to pick up this ball from the attack side and bring it all the way down, or pick it up on their defensive end and bring it down to their attack side. Just a little bit of a mismatch pass from low to high there, and Westminster's able to come up with it, bringing that ball back and just trying to switch the field. Great movement, great ball movement from this Westminster team, really trying to spread themselves out, make it work. Kind of touch and go with those restraining lines still, playing that blue line instead of the red.
Those red lines really are just way too close to the draw circle.
I feel like we see that with a lot of these fields that have just kind of these odd dimensions, some being a little bit wider for the soccer lines and a little bit shorter, and others being a little bit longer and thinner. So kind of just getting used to the field that you're playing on makes a huge difference too. GCU had an advantage because this is their home turf. But it looks like Westminster is able to kind of figure it all out after yesterday. And that's going to be our first shot clock violation. GCU able to hold out the Westminster attack. Looks like Westminster was just trying to figure something out and they weren't able to get it down. It looks like they're also going to play the goalie on these clears. Not a bad idea.
No, Westminster just couldn't quite find the right opening.
Riley Siegel running that ball from about this first restraining line all the way into the attack side.
And we're going to have a slash call, so a yellow card for Westminster.
It's going to be on Sophia Fadler. Then we're going to have a turnover.
We're going to have a false start.
A false start. Oh, man. Still going to be Westminster's ball.
GCU got a little excited and checked the goalie stick in the goal circle.
Some of those quick turnovers too, where Westminster is given a yellow card, and now GCU would have had that ball, but just something as simple as a false start, you turn the ball over. It looks like Westminster's offsides. I guess she crossed over at some point and fixed herself.
Yeah, she may have self-corrected.
Sometimes during those clears, it can get a little confusing on who's where and doing what. But I think our ref had a good count on that and was keeping a close eye on it as well. Gabby Kemnan able to come up with this ball yet again. GCU just looking to see any shot that they can get off. I don't think that's a bad idea, bad plan either. Gabby coming out strong in the second half. It looks like she got a little bit of a warm-up during that halftime, kind of, getting your head straight, making sure everything's in line, you're feeling good, you're feeling ready. Especially when you're the only goalie on that sideline. GCU playing a heavy pressure.
They are still a man up.
They are still man up. Heavy pressure on this transition. It looks like we're about to get even here. Looks like we are back to even numbers. Westminster's penalty is up. See if they can get a shot off here. Yeah. Very well done. Well done by Celia Fidanza. Just a little on that top side crease. Make it a nice little sidearm. That's all you need. It's a 1v goalie. The odds are forever in the favor of the attacker, let me tell you. I wish it wasn't that way, but
I always feel for the goalies in those situations. It's such a hard position to be in.
Westminster definitely switched up. Oh, they're going to be a crossing over. That's going to be GCU ball. Westminster definitely switching up this draw circle setup and absolutely trying to match the other players that the GCU players that they've got on the circle. I wouldn't be surprised if we even see Westminster trying to kind of set down already and maybe take off some of this midfield pressure, especially towards the end of this game, maybe in the fourth quarter or so. Making sure that their defense is strong. That's a great save by Gabby. Popped it right back out. Westminster able to come up with that ball. It's a great save by Westminster's goalie.
It really was.
Standing on her head yet again. Same thing with this GCU goalie. Both of them having absolutely stunning games. Westminster's got plenty of time. I know they're looking to come from this top side. They want to see if they can kind of find the holes, maybe break down some of the defense that GCU is playing. It's definitely high pressure, so there's opportunities. Looks as though Celia was looking for another top side on the crease and just lost the ball and tried to just put a little knock on it and see if that would even work.
Westminster got a little lucky there. GCU trying to pick up that ground ball that didn't go out, and they were the last to touch it, so Westminster was able to hang on at least.
Hannah Keller with a great shot, but it looks like there's going to be a foul before that shot, so not quite a goal yet, but we've got an 8-meter from a strong, powerful shooter. That crossed. So what we see in this case, that was a Hannah Keller goal. Hannah Keller was able to just bounce that ball right by the goalie's feet, and it actually touched the top inside of the goal and crossed that line. If we had a camera kind of sitting at the top side, you would see that that ball crossed that line. It actually bounced out and bounced back into the field of play, which a lot of girls will, kind of play off of, but if the ref is paying good enough attention, they often see and notice that that ball's crossed the line. They call it a goal, and in this case, it happens to be a goal.
That is an advantage with 3 refs in the college game. You've always got one a lot closer to really watch that goal line on a shot.
Looks like we're 1-1 in this second half this GCU Westminster game. Oh, that's a great play by Westminster. If there was not a shooting space call, that would have been absolutely beautiful. Oh. So that's what I like to call a trash can goal. It's one of those balls that just happens to pop right outside of the crease, and the girl right in front is able to pick it up. It looks like that. It's one of those Sugarow sisters again. It's going to be Lauren Sugarow. I'm going to have a timeout for GCU. Little trash can goal is when the ball gets right outside of the crease there, and somebody on the other team's able to pick it up and just kind of dump it in. We call it picking up the trash out in front, usually what the goalie kind of leaves up in front.
And the GCU goalie had such a great save initially,
save.
And just got beat the second time around.
Beautiful save, and sometimes there's nothing you can do with some of those saves where you're just forcing out or you kind of like, pressing out. That ball just create, it's physics, but like that ball is just going to create so much velocity. It's just going to pop right back out of your stick. You can give as much as you want, but you got no chance. So it ends up, going back into the field of play, and you just have to hope you can recover pretty quickly.
Sometimes you're lucky your own teammate gets the ball and takes off.
Yeah, you hope.
Don't always get that lucky.
Most of the time you're crossing your fingers that happens. Sometimes you have those, I always used to have these defenders that would come up with the ball, and I was like, where'd it go? It's already halfway down the field, and I'm like, all right, I guess my job's done. Guess I've done what I can.
I think the defense is underappreciated on most teams. The offense is so much more exciting, and that's why people want to come to games and they want to see the goals.
Absolutely.
But the defenders are really so important. You can't win games without great defense.
Well, and both of these teams have been having just a solid performance on the defensive ends, able to create these turnovers and just pick up and go, started into that midfield transition, allow their midfielders to go with these defenders putting in as much work as possible just to, help them out, make their jobs a little bit easier. And I think that comes along with the communication among your 4 defenders as well as your 3 midfielders.
GCU's got another draw win.
Looks like Catherine Taylor, a midfielder out of Dallas, Texas. Oh, looking for almost an assist there as well.
Oh, so close. She almost saved that.
Westminster's gonna come up with this ball and that. And there you go. I was just about to say this Westminster player has every opportunity to just roll that ball in to her goalie, and the goalie can just kind of settle out. And as a goalie, you can kind of get creative with these clears, especially if in the cases where you're getting played on, if you've got a defender on you. Start to get creative with some of these clears that you decide to throw out. Sometimes maybe a little too much fun, but you know. It's always good to practice something a little different, something a little new. Westminster with a beautiful transition up the field. Textbook transition, to be quite honest.
Good,
looking
good
for that
ball
shooting
movement,
space.
yeah.
Looked like Hunter Doyle was looking for that shooting space call right in front of the crease, but wasn't able to get it. GCU was able to pick up this ball. It's just going to be back and forth, until we get a little foul like that. It's going to be GCU ball, little incidental trip. Again, happens to the best of us. Westminster's doing a great job with this attack side too, playing a pretty heavy defense on this transition, trying to play all the way up to that restraining line. I'm sure that's something their coaches said to them during this halftime. Making sure that these attackers are putting in 100% effort in making sure they got that ball back. It's a good stick. A little bit too high of a pass. Looks like it's going to be GCU's ball.
Oh.
A little slip. We saw this, you know, a little bit of this slipping here too. Saw a little bit of the slipping yesterday in the game. You know, it seems as though it's been a little bit more under control today. I don't know if it's just something, you know, the grass is a little wet, a little dewy. But definitely saw that with the GCU player just losing her feet. Westminster wasn't able to capitalize on that play, and now it just looks like it's getting a little sloppy. And, you know, the best thing they can do is really just take a deep breath here.
Slow down a little.
Slow down. I mean, they had a brand new clock. Brand new shot clock. They've got a new 90 seconds. They've got nothing to worry about. Adding some pressure to this goalie. I think this is a great idea. Looks like a little run-in in the middle of the field. She's getting up. Everything's okay. It's one of those turn your heads. You both realize you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and just run into each other. And it looks like it's getting a little aggressive. A little choppy out here.
Pretty similar to yesterday's game.
I would agree.
A little sloppier, a little more aggressive as the girls are getting tired. Both teams need to try and just stay a little more composed.
Absolutely. I think we'll see whichever team is able to kind of gain that composure kind of quicker. They'll probably come out on top in this game. Westminster has the advantage, and I do believe that they have the opportunity to become composed. And I think this little slow break is helping them out. Slow down the ball. We have plenty of time. They've got solid shooters.
And they definitely have enough of a lead that they can really take as much time off the shot clock as they need.
Oh, and that is a great shot. I didn't even see that go in. That's Lauren Shugro.
I'm not sure if that was really a quick stick or some sort of batting technique, but
hey, you know what?
Back of the stick in.
It hit with the back of her stick?
The defender stick hit the attacker stick.
So it looks like the defender stick hit the attacker stick, and then it helped the ball just go into the goal there. There was an assist from Renia Page.
Westminster really is in a place, though, where they can eat up a lot of the shot clock before they shoot, where GCU really has to try and get some shots off.
Absolutely. Renia Page with this ball, making a really great effort on that circle. She's been kind of, ball in her hand all game. There's been at least, she's got 20, 30 seconds with the ball, and she's able to control it, move it off to her teammates. That's just an unlucky pass.
Bit too high. GCU player right there to pick it off.
I think it's going to be a quick start from that foul. Nicole Terry able to pick that ball up right in the midfield. Had her eye on the ball and was able to just kind of keep her space and keep in that area and make sure that she had possession of that ball.
GCU had another slip behind goal line extended, but she was able to maintain possession.
Westminster playing its backer zone defense. Oh, they let one slip in. We've got to work on those slides a little bit. Just maybe a little miscommunication. Especially when playing that zone. Every team's got a little bit of a different variation of a zone.
Definitely a push on that.
Looks like one of our own from Phoenix, Arizona, Haley Seaman, freshman. That was a great save by Gabby Kemnit. Looks like she caught that in between her arm and her thigh, I think. Even her elbow and maybe just her body. Again, just another little bit of a high pass. It's easy fix for Westminster here. Few extra breaths, few extra steps, really slowing down that ball. They've got a whole nother quarter to play. We've got a little quick break here. They're going to have plenty of time. That was an amazing save by Gabby. Truly. Those saves are, awesome to see, but man, sometimes they hurt. When they kind of hit you on the inside of the elbow and you're just catching it where you're not expecting to. Those ones can catch you off guard for sure. Be interested to hear what Tracy Ramirez is saying to her team right now. They have an opportunity. They have plenty of time in this last quarter to kind of pick themselves up and get a run on this game. Westminster just needs to stay composed, stay relaxed, take a deep breath, keep up the communication. It seems as though they do really well when their communication is loud and, just purposeful. And when you get tired, the communication lacks a little bit.
I agree. And GCU really could take advantage of that with so many girls, fresher legs.
Absolutely. It looks
they
like
should be much faster if they can just be more composed.
They've tried to, throw in some of the girls that have been on the sideline here and just hanging out, making sure that they get, their middies a break, or even some of their attackers, their defensemen, even if it's just a word from their coaching staff.
They can move fast enough on the field but keep the passes clean. They should be able to find some good shooting opportunities.
Absolutely.
But they can't throw the ball away. Both these teams, they just continue shooting. They're going to find
they're gonna find the small, the small area, the small little spaces, the small area that they, are able to capitalize on. GCU coming up with this ball. Looks like just a little bit of a bad cradle, but she's able to come back up with it. Looking for that shooting space. Call, nothing. Westminster with just good outside defense. It's going to be a push. I'm actually going to put her on the 8 meter, which I'm not quite sure I agree with. I think that was outside of the 8. Good bounce on that shot. Going to be Ashley Swearigan from California, a junior midfielder. Her first on today. I think she's had a few other shots here, but just hasn't been able to capitalize on them. Just took a nice little bounce off into the left side of Gabby's, kind of body, and especially on grass. If you're used to playing on turf, having these bounces on grass are completely different, and vice versa. If you're used to playing on grass and then you play on turf, you kind of got to adjust to how the ball is going to react. And even, it's just something as simple as ground balls, or just a little like bouncing ball up the field, whatever it may be. Be willing to make those adjustments. That's a nice hard shot.
It really was.
Lauren Showgro with another one.
These grass fields, too, they're so different one from another in terms of what type of grass is on the field and how the balls will bounce, or ground balls on those. And here in Arizona, every field's a little bit different. Some of them are on softer ground. Some of them, it feels like the field was put on top of solid rock.
Cement. Oh, I remember that one all too well. Playing in the Dust Bowl of Pinnacle High School out there, especially when it gets later into the season, it was like you were watching the dust out in front of you and hoping you could see the ball coming at you. If it was all getting kicked up a little too much or a little bit too windy of a night. It looks like GCU might have some of these same issues as the days get a little bit warmer and the days get a little bit drier. But luckily, it looks like they're able to maintain most of the field and try and keep it relatively grassy and green. GCU up with this draw yet again. Right on the inside. Looks like an assist from Breland Caffey.
GCU definitely needs more plays executed like that, quick and right on target.
Absolutely. That shot's from Eliana Testa, midfielder from sophomore midfielder from Oregon. Yeah, talk about composure. I think both of these teams kind of took that opportunity in between the quarter to just say, hey, let's take a breath. Like, let's calm down. We know what we're doing. We know what we need to do to finish this game out. And let's take care of business. I think that's one of the advantages of this game changing from halves to quarters as well. It gives these teams an opportunity to just sit and chat for an extra minute or two without having to waste their, these precious timeouts. Great save. Her teammates are right on top of it too and helping her out, making sure that ball kind of stays in the crease. The clear was a great clear out to the midfield there as well. Looks like it was just a little bit of a bobbled pass. Again, it happens sometimes in these situations when we feel like we need to catch this ball, or we need to do this, we need to do that for it to work. Just some repetitive whistles out here. It's technically going to be an 8-meter from the outside hash. Very, very poor placed hash. But, you know, some teams have strategy with them. They'll try and set up a girl to pass the ball off to or move the ball to. In this case, it looked like they tried to do it. And just was a bit of an off pass. It's going to be Westminster ball rolling out of the sideline there.
It was a nice idea. The pass just came in a little off target.
This is a good decision by Westminster. Slow down this clear. We've got plenty of time. Even with slowing down that clear, they were able to get down to the attack side within 15 seconds. That's all it takes. Just slow everything down, move the ball, kind of take that breath in between passes.
And they've still got plenty of time.
It's just going back to basics. Preach to the high school girls, and I couldn't show a better example of it than Westminster out here right now. Going back to basics. We're gonna catch and throw. We're gonna, you know, take our time. Looks like we were pushed around in the 8-meter a little bit.
We're going to take an official's timeout for an injured player.
Looks like there's also going to be a card on GCU.
Dangerous contact there on that one. It was a pretty rough cross-check.
Is able to come off under her own fruition. She
does look like she's moving pretty well. It looks like maybe she's got a little bit of a stitch in the side.
You get to the end of these games and, you know, you've been breathing so hard, you get a little hit to the side. Sometimes you can cramp up pretty easily, and man, are those uncomfortable. That was a great shot by Westminster. Hunter Doyle. Definitely think Westminster is kind of keyed into where to be shooting these 8-meter balls on Maggie. But, you know, I don't think she's letting it get to her either. It's the name of the game. You can't let it get to you, otherwise it's just going to continue to dwindle down. But
she's had a great game. She's had double-digit saves.
Absolutely. She started out strong, and she's been, you know, really doing whatever she can to keep that ball out of the net, even in the second half. Gabby Kemnant doing the absolute same thing. I mean, playing on her head, both goalies. I feel like you don't often get to say that. But the last 2 games have been goalie games. They've just been, you know, playing on their head, doing the best that they can. These attackers have had to work hard to try and get these shots off, getting goals. Nia Page looking to get this ball. She's able to pick it up. Having a hard time getting it out of her stick though. Westminster able to still obtain this ball. They are man up. They should be back to full strength. GCU should be back to full strength. Maggie making a great save there. Kind of popping off the pipe. Westminster seeing if they can pull this GCU defense out a little bit. We saw the same thing. We saw them do the same thing with Dominican yesterday as well, and honestly, at this point, for their sake, I think it's a great idea. Slow things down. They've got a new 90, so right now they should be able to just take advantage of this new 90. Take their time. Top shooter right there in the middle. Great shot. Shayna Shugro. GCU's got to keep their head up here in for the next 10 minutes or so. Still can come back. Wouldn't be the biggest deficit that I think most teams would come off of or come from.
No, we've seen some pretty big ones in college games past.
Takes 7 seconds from draw to goal, minimum. And honestly, these days it might even be less.
Both teams need to just really focus on their fundamentals.
Back to basics.
Yeah, we see it over and over and over again. It's clean passing and catching, good ground balls.
Now, I don't know if I didn't notice this yesterday or not, but it looks like the Westminster team is playing a Fogo, which, great. Little dip and dunk. I believe that's Hannah Keller.
I did not notice if they were doing that yesterday either.
I don't know if they were doing that yesterday, but honestly, in these scenarios, when you wanna start matching up that draw circle, just a little bit more. I might have that wrong. That might have been Lauren. I think that was Lauren Shugro. Sorry, I apologize. The numbers are a little hard to see from a distance. 18 and 10 look very much so alike. Yeah, no, a Fogo situation here for them, I think, is a very, very good change, a very good switch up. And I don't think GCU either hasn't noticed it or wasn't expecting it. And I know initially with Westminster, they were looking to, utilize their tall players on the draw, but it didn't seem to be working for them. Like you had said earlier, GCU has come up with a majority of the draws. Even now, still, I believe they're still have the majority.
They are still quite a ways ahead, about 60%.
Yeah, I think this is a really good change for Westminster, and I think it's helping them out a lot. It's also helping with those middies, kind of taking that extra break, or just kind of utilizing them down on the attack side or the defensive end, kind of wherever they want to, force them to play a little bit more.
And it's good to see a team changing up their center and their draw circle to try and see if something else might work better. Absolutely,
or even matching up. That's something that I feel a lot of teams, kind of struggle to do. They wanna put their best, they're statistically the best players on the draw circle.
And it might not be the best matchup for that particular game.
Exactly. I mean, people kind of live by these statistical reasonings, and honestly, it's not always the best decision. I absolutely live by that, and that's the way that I coach. I never, I'll never be there and be like, hey, I'm playing her because of stats. I'll be like, hey, I'm playing her because I think she's going to do a little bit better in this game just because of back history.
Well, and there's no real stat either for how scrappy a player is.
No, oh goodness, no. Or
sometimes that's just what you want, scrappy.
Or even when a player's going to show up, or maybe when they're having a little bit of an off day. Westminster making a good decision to just bring that ball back a little bit. Kind of going in the direction of the ball, not trying to switch a direction, and then being, just crumpled by two of the GCU players that were following close behind. Oh, that's great, and it's working. This Fogo is working.
It really is. And we lost the shot clock on their side, but it doesn't matter.
There was 64 seconds left in that shot clock. That's going to be Shayna Shigro from, to be quite honest, I didn't catch the assist, but Shayna Shigro and Madeline DeGarlace. I'm going to try my best. I apologize for any mispronunciations. This Fogo is working. And I'm not sure GCU knows what to do. Defense needs to communicate a little bit, and hopefully one of them is at least noticed and said something to that little group of 5 down there, saying, "Hey, she's wide open and has a completely open lane." And I don't know if any of you guys are realizing that. They're going to give this back to GCU for, I believe, one of the Westminster girls' sticks, just coming over, maybe some toes. Again, too close for us to call up here. Got to trust the ref's judgment down on that line.
It is one of those things a lot of players do, though. They try and get right up to the line. And in an effort to get so close right at the edge, I think sometimes they shift a little and don't realize they've now stepped on the line.
A little happy feet tiptoes.
Yeah.
Right on the line.
And that's all it takes.
GCU's looking to strike pretty quickly here. And there it is. Number 6, Kiera, sophomore attackman from Grand Rapids, Michigan. You know, having some of those taller girls on the attack side, obviously, I'm sure you guys can see right now, you've got number 6 against, kind of up against number 2 there on GCU's team. Got a major height difference, but sometimes having those taller, kind of 6-foot girls, 6-foot range girls, they can get over some of those goalies that might be in the average height of that kind of 4'5" to 5'8" area, and just do a little, dunk over the top of the head of some of these goalies.
It's also one of the reasons why it's so important for defenders, no matter their size, to keep their sticks up.
It'll make you from a 5'4" defender into a 6'2" defender is what my old college coach used to like to say. I
think for a lot of these players, it's so tempting to turn their stick horizontal when they get to college and push on people, and there's still a huge advantage to use your body and keep your stick up or in the lane to stop that ball.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to shoot over a horizontal stick.
Westminster, 8-meter shot. She was able to kind of get Maggie to jump there, and threw a little fake from Ellie Berg, number 21. Great shot, great decision. Way to make the goalie move before she actually took that shot. Got her a little off balance. Yeah, Westminster does a great job at keeping these sticks up. I mean, even just getting these small little knockdowns makes a huge difference. It slows the game down. It kind of throws GCU off kilter, and vice versa. GCU's had plenty of knockdowns that have thrown Westminster off a bit, where they're like, "Oh man, we gotta plan these passes out a little bit better." But keeping those sticks up does make a huge difference. You think about the length of your arm, the length of your stick. It's all combined. It's going to give you those few extra feet, even for some people. Goalie as well. A lot of the goalie sticks will play. Some of the goalies will play with a longer shaft, just out of a leverage of a clear. Utilize it. Take advantage of it. It's one of the coolest things to see these goalies coming out with these sticks. All they got to do is take a step, and you can just pull that stick right back in, and you're set. It looks like we're going to get a card. looks like she knew what she had done too, and it, again.
Yeah, we had some shooting space, and then we had the stick that looks like it went right into the face of her opponent.
GCU's got to watch out here. That's their 3rd yellow card. That's Hunter Doyle. Hat trick for the night. Glad to see some of these some of these other shooters coming out. I feel like they had opportunities last night, but again, goalies were having games of their lives, playing lights out and shutting down a lot of these these Westminster shooters that I think they're used to having opportunities, and they were getting shut down last night.
They were, and these last couple of goals, they've done a really good job of taking a few extra steps to get that time to fake and better place instead of just taking the first available shot.
Those low angle kind of corner crease shots. You're so eager to just get that ball out of your stick. This looks like a good run from GCU, looking for anything.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an off-speed shot. It's impressive that Gabby Kemnan was able to read that. I think it just kind of went off the inner part of her leg. But some of those off-speed shots can really throw you as a goalie, especially when you've got 5 or 6 girls all coming down one way, whether it's your own team or the other team. Kind of lined up and ready to tumble on top of you. It was a great save by Gabby Kemnan.
Both these goalies still doing so well.
Superb. Great shot. Ooh, that was a wonderful shot. I think that was Annabelle Kugler, a freshman out of South Jordan, Utah. Beautiful shot. And looks like they're doing a little celebration. I wonder if that's her first goal as a Griffin here. Freshmen are making names for themselves on this Westminster team.
And for the viewers at home, we have moved a couple of goals ago to a running clock because we have more than a 10-goal differential now.
Good catch. I didn't even realize. I'm too involved in this game right now. I'm trying to figure out who's going where and where the ball is. Looks like they're going to have a little bit of a longer set on this draw. It's at this moment that GCU is wondering why we're resetting the draw 15,000 times. And Westminster's like, yeah, keep going. We can reset if you want us to.
Absolutely. Burn the clock.
And run the clock. We're just here. Still playing this Fogo. I think this is a great idea. And honestly, I hope that Westminster continues to play this. Oh, that's a nice try on that shooting from Runia Page. Looking for that top left corner. Off stick side of the goalie's dominant hand. If we can pull some of these shots down, some of these sidearms, they're looking for these little riser shots. Runia Page looking for another opportunity, just slips out of her stick and able to pick it up. Looking for the... Man, they're looking for all these shooting space calls. And the refs, I think, are making great calls, just saying, hey, it's not enough for us. You guys are at advantage right now.
Yeah.
You got to make it something, that's got a point. That's what they're looking for.
That's the shooting space call you really have to make.
Where it could be dangerous.
She was just nowhere near a defender. Or nowhere near an offensive player there.
Shayna Shugro with that shot, a goal. I think the GCU players were a little caught off guard by that whistle as well. I'm not sure they were ready for what was to come. It's the one thing that, they should be teaching kind of at a young age is that as soon as that attacker is ready to go, those refs are going to be looking to blow that whistle as long as everything's set up correctly and everything's set up well. Nobody's in the shooting lanes or in that box on the back end. They're not waiting for the defenders.
No, the players have to be ready.
The players have to be ready at any moment. They could be blowing that whistle at any moment. I mean, goalies especially, but especially those two kind of adjacent defenders that are trying to crash in.
And when the clock is running, the officials are not going to try and slow things down and wait for a straggling defender.
Well, and obviously they're not going to be calling these little fouls that they would call out of a safety aspect, but they're not going to be calling these shooting space calls that are kind of set up well with the defenders.
Well, I think that's one thing too. Players kind of really need to recognize when they're looking for a shooting space call. If they're well defended and they don't really have an opportunity for a safe shot anyway, someone who would otherwise be in shooting space isn't, because they're not denying you the opportunity to shoot.
Absolutely. Looked like Maddie Keller was looking for one more shot, and just went off the left side pipe, I believe, and just popped out. But Westminster, great showing today. Great showing this entire weekend. Honestly, very impressed and very excited to see what they do this season. I think they're kind of in the start of their season, still trying to build their program, making sure that they've got all their ducks in a row, figuring out where people sit. The only one that's got a guaranteed position is the one with the helmet on. That's the goalie. But even then, sometimes you got to throw somebody else in and see what happens. I think Westminster's off to a great start this season, and really excited to see where they go, and happy they were able to come out here and maybe get a little bit nicer weather than they've had the past week or two.
Oh, it was great to see them play out here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do the rest of the season and how they start matching up against some of their conference opponents.
Absolutely. I mean, are you a little biased in that conference? I not to be pulling the bias out, but I may or may not have a daughter at
yes,
UCCS.
I do have a daughter who plays in that conference.
Yeah.
So
I no longer have bias anymore. We've been out of that conference for a little while.
Well, I'll be biased for at least the next 4 years.
I'm excited to see this Westminster team really grow, especially with this this young coaching staff, and even this GCU team. They're off to a really good start. I know that I was talking with Tracy yesterday, and she said that they are well into their club season here. Honestly, I think they said they're done before that first week of April. So they're hitting the ground running with all these games, traveling. They've been in California. They think they've got a few games coming here in the Arizona district area.
And GCU will be playing another D2 opponent later in March when Fort Lewis comes out. Fort Lewis will be playing both ASU and GCU, and they'll do those 2 days back-to-back. And South Mountain Sports will be filming and live streaming both those games for anyone who wants to watch those.
And GCU is going to be back out here again tomorrow night against Dominican,
yes,
who was out here last night playing Westminster and really had a great showing. And I'm actually very excited to see that game too, because I think that'll be a bit of a bit more of a scrappy game.
I think so too. And we'll be there as well. So if you're interested in watching more of our college lacrosse games, please subscribe, youtube.com/South Mountain Sports.
Please follow along. And if you have any corrections for your commentators, we're always welcome to take any corrections that are needed.
As we butcher half the players' names.
Just know that we're doing our best.
And
we thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night.